Obviously now you know it's 4th and 6 for Motherwell, but how do you approach the rest of the season? Do you feel you've done enough to kind of be out the danger zone essentially?
No, we're certainly not out of the danger zone. But I've not once mentioned the top 6 to anybody. I've not talked about the other end to anybody. I've just been talking about the next game to my players and making sure that we focus on that, because as soon as we took our focus off the next game, we come unstuck a couple of weeks ago. So for me, look, it's obviously a scenario where our first objective coming in was making sure we're a Premiership team, so we weren't thinking about anything more than that, and it's still the case. So I said all along, 2 games, 3 games isn't going to be enough to decide our season. It's going to be from now right to the end, and I don't think that's changed, to be honest, because I didn't feel that we were going to come in and win every single game, but I was also hoping that we wouldn't come in and lose every game, and that's been the case. I think it's been we've certainly improved on the previous results, but not enough to change the picture dramatically, so we need to keep working really hard.
How do you assess the squad now to when you came in terms of how much work needs done?
Well, it's a big squad. I think it's over 40 odd players. So obviously we added to that in January because we felt we had to, because of the number of injuries we had. But unfortunately, probably four or five of those 7 players have been injured as well. So it's been really difficult to assess the whole squad because we haven't had the whole squad. Luckily enough, really, because I think training 40 odd players would be very difficult. Yeah, it's one where I think we've made good improvements on obviously the results, which is the first point of call. I think with what they've done so far, they've gained confidence. We've had a couple of setbacks, which I think the team and the players have reacted well to, which is good. But I don't think we can sit here and assess the squad until we get to the end of the season and assess where we are and where we finished. And there's still a lot of points to play for, and we need to. I'm not one really for getting halfway through a season and trying to make judgments and everything. I think you have to wait until the end of something to look back on it, and that goes for recruitment, our training schedule, everything. It's until you get to the end, then you look and you actually see whether we've done a good enough job to keep going with what we've got, or we have to make improvements. So we'll wait until the summer to make those sort of decisions.
You get a bit of a selection headache with Declan. The Arsenal being back fit, but the defence haven't kept 2 clean sheets.
Yeah, certainly. These are the. I'll be honest. It's not a headache for me. It's a headache when you're trying to put a team together and you haven't got enough players, and that's the biggest headache. But when you've got more than 11 good players, that's a good position to be in for a manager. Yeah, you have to make clear decisions, and you have to decide between good players. That's the sort of scenario that we have as managers when almost every Friday you feel like you're rejecting good players by picking the team, but that you've got more than 11 good ones, and that's certainly the case we have here. So we've got Declan and several others that have not been in the team in the last couple of games who are fighting to be in that team. But there's reasons why Dec wasn't in the team to start with, obviously with his injury, but I'll be honest, his reaction to training and how he's pushed himself to be fit has been superb. And but he's a seasoned professional and a quality one, and we need him. So it's great to have him back.
On the game tomorrow, performance like last weekend, and can't go wrong, really.
Well, look, that has to be our starting position, in how we approach the game. The last 2 games have been in a stark contrast to the previous 2 games in how we've approached it mentally, physically, and that's where our good play comes from. You can't play half-hearted and expect to play well. You have to fully commit to every action, and that's what you've seen from every player. Either starting or coming off the bench, they've committed to every action. There hasn't been a duel unchallenged all over the pitch, and that's got to be the base minimum. That's what we're concentrating on. We know we have the quality within our squad to score great goals and win games with quality, which you saw last week. And I think the standard of our goals in the last couple of months has been really high. But it has to be on the back of what we do off the ball and how we sort of interact as a team, and we have to always show that we're a team. There was a couple of games where we weren't a team. We were individualistic. We were apart from each other, and that's not how we win games. We have to be one entity at all times, and when we do that, we're a very good team and hard to play against.
In terms of morale and confidence, how big was that win against Oxford?
Yeah, look, it's the biggest thing for me is in professional sport, not just football and life, is how you react to adversity. You know, I don't think anyone has a simple, easy life. I think there's always challenges and fights to overcome, and but you know, in professional football, you're getting these challenges every 3 days. So if it takes you too long to get over those things, then it's going to be a one-way street really to failure. So the biggest thing for me is how you react to disappointments, to setbacks, because they happen in games as well. It's not just on results, they happen continually through games, challenges, throw-ins, set pieces, goals. So it's how you react to those situations, and what I've seen in the players, how we reacted to those two negative results and performances has been brilliant. But what I would challenge my players is our consistency levels over the course of the season is what's undone us. There's been several occasions this season, even before my time, where the team has picked up really good results, but it hasn't been sustained. So that's the challenge that we have now, and to be consistent in your performances and results, it starts in your mind, and it starts with your mindset, and that's where we have to be consistent.